some more people to join, then we will start. I have the full transcript of Mo Salah's interview here from Sky Sports. I will start talking about it once I get a little bit of audience. So there you see the first thing that he says. I'll read it out as Mo Salah says it. Quote, I don't know what to say. It's funny, but I couldn't believe it. It is a really disappointing result for us as a team because we expect to win a game like that. So now there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone around Liverpool expected them to beat Leeds United even if it's away, especially after leading 2-0 like that. Then Salah goes on to say, we managed to we managed to score 2 goals in the beginning and the game was going in our direction, but we conceded silly goals. Yeah, that is exactly what we did. The game was completely in our control. Leeds didn't have a sniff up until Ibu Konate decided to capitulate and give them the result on a platter. So then Salah goes on to say, it's not only about us, it is also the team we face. In the last games I saw of them, they made it hard for Man City in the second half. I saw the same against Chelsea. So he's talking about how Leeds United have performed well in their previous games against Man City and Chelsea. So then he goes on to say, we try to adapt as best as we can to their strength and hopefully we can hurt them. Yeah, so this is all good. This is all good. Mo Salah starts off well and he's only talking about the game. He's only talking about the tactics and how Leeds play and what Liverpool lacked. So this is all good. So then the interviewer goes on to ask him, what couldn't you believe? Then Salah drops the bombshell. So he says that I'm sitting on the bench for 90 minutes. The third time on the bench. I think for the first time in my career. I'm very, very disappointed to be fair. I have done so much for this club down the years and especially last season. So then he talks about how disappointed he is to be on the bench. And that too, this is not just the first time, this is not the second time, this is the third consecutive game that he's on the bench. And this time, when Liverpool were not getting a favorable result, he did not even come on. He was on the bench for 90 minutes. Now, I will tell you at the end of the video what my exact thoughts are about Salah's situation. But over here I can understand where he's coming from, like what exactly is his mindset around it. He is thinking that he is probably the best player that Liverpool has produced over the last 10 years and yet he is not getting treated as well as he should be. But to be honest, all of us, to be honest, Prasanna says it's time to sack Slot. I will give my opinion on that as well, but I think you probably know what my opinion is if you follow me on Instagram. But yeah, so let's finish reading the interview first and I'll give you my thoughts one by one. So Salah continues, now I'm sitting on the bench and I don't know why. So he does not understand why he is on the bench. We probably do why he is on the bench, because he isn't been at his best since the start of the season, let's be honest. But let's go ahead. So it seems like the club has thrown me under the bus. Now that is massive. So we don't know now what he means by the club. Does he mean the manager or does he mean the higher ups, that is Michael Edwards, Richard Hughes? I don't know what he means by that. So that is how I am feeling. I think it is very clear that someone wanted me to get all of the blame. So this could be referring to the media as well, because the media has not been kind to Mo Salah. Even some of the fans from the Liverpool fan base itself haven't been that kind to Mo Salah. Then he continues, I got a lot of promises in the summer and so far I am on the bench for 3 games, so I can't say they keep the promise. So who can the promises be coming from? It can't be coming from the fans, it can't be coming from the media. It has to come from one of the 3 people. It has to come from either Arne Slot, who is the manager, or it can come from the higher ups, which are Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes, or the owners, the FSG. But I don't think FSG interferes on the day-to-day basis of sports working. So I think it has to come from one of these 3 people. And in football, you can't expect to keep playing if you are not at your best. So in that regard, I agree that Mo Salah had to be benched. But was it the way to bench him? That is something that I don't agree on. And I will discuss that at the end of the stream, once we finish reading up the transcript. Okay, So then he says, I said many times before that I had a good relationship with the manager, and all of a sudden we don't have any relationship. I don't know why, but it seems to me, how I see it, that someone doesn't want me in the club. So Salah says here that there was no communication from Arne Slot, the manager, to him about why he is being benched, and that is something that is very concerning, because every time at any level of football, whenever the manager releases a team sheet, the squad, they do sometimes explain the players about why they haven't been included, about why, what they can do better. And as Salah is claiming that that is something that hasn't happened, and that is really concerning for the future of this club and the environment around the club, because Salah is not any player. You can do that with Chiesa. It is not fair. It is not fair. But Chiesa's stature at Liverpool is not nowhere close to that of Salah. But so I don't know what goes on between Chiesa and Arne Slot, that he does not get a single game. But Mo Salah is someone who is probably bigger in stature than Arne Slot at Liverpool, and so for him to do that, and for him to not get any communication from the manager, that is really concerning. And that is this sentence where he says that he has no relationship with the manager right now, is probably the part that is most damning amongst all of this. So then he goes on to say, this club I always support it. My kids will always support it. I love the club so much, I will always do. I called my mom yesterday. You guys didn't know if I would start or not, but I knew. Yesterday I said to them, come to the Brighton game. I don't know if I'm going to play or not, but I am going to enjoy it. This sounds like he's preparing to say goodbye, or maybe he's strong arming the management to maybe sack Arne Slot. We don't know. We don't know that yet, but we can only speculate. In my head, I am going to enjoy the game because I don't know what is going to happen now. I will be in Anfield to say goodbye to the fans and go to the African Cup of Nations. I don't know what is going to happen when I'm there. So he's threatening to say goodbye. He's threatening to leave. This is, oh, you know what? This is reminiscent of Cristiano Ronaldo at Manchester United. Of course, it turned really ugly, but if we don't manage this situation right now, then even this situation has the potential to go in that direction. And then there is one common denominator in both of these: a Dutch manager. I'm not racist. I'm not discriminating against any country or any people, but it seems to be a common theme with the Dutch managers that they don't seem to get the players, like their emotions and the feelings and how they are thinking or what they need from the manager. Mo Salah has always been someone who is very emotional, but yet he has been very professional. He has never had an outburst like this kind. There was one hint of a bust up between him and Klopp, but that was put to bed real soon. And that credit goes to Klopp, in fact, that Klopp did not make a big fuss out of it. So what the interviewer goes on to ask him, what do you do with the situation now? It is not acceptable for me, Salah says. I don't know why this is happening to me. I don't get it. I think if this was somewhere else, every club would protect its player. Now that is something that Salah should not have said. Okay, Prasanna says we won the trophy because of Salah last season, and I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. We would not have won that title without Salah, and I had been saying it all along. And there are, okay, if I'm going to say it right up front, I don't like Arne Slot. I have never been a fan of Arne Slot. Even when we were winning last season, there were cracks. There were cracks on the wall, and it wasn't a good style of play. And there were many concerns about his team selection. Ryan Gravenberch was superb in the first season, like the first half of the last season, but then he started getting tired and he wasn't giving that much energy to the team, and he wasn't performing at his optimal best. But yet Arne Slot kept on playing him instead of giving chance to maybe Wataru Endo, who was sensational. Let's be honest, he was sensational coming down to close the games. And yesterday, to be fair to Arne Slot, he was brought on, but it was maybe he did not have the match fitness probably because he is never playing. So that is something that Arne Slot had to sort out, the competitiveness in the team. You see him selecting Van Dijk, Gravenberch, Gakpo every single game, regardless of how they are performing. So I'm not against selecting Van Dijk because we have absolutely no option right now, and Van Dijk is still a top defender. Gravenberch hasn't been at his best right now. Gakpo, you know how Gakpo is. I don't need to say it again and again. So if it was up to me, Gakpo should never be a plan A on the left wing for Liverpool, but he is right now under Slot. So what this does to their mind is that they feel that whatever they do, they are going to start. Yeah. So whatever, however Gravenberch plays, however Gakpo plays, they know for sure that they are going to start. So there's no jeopardy in their mind. There is no threat in their mind to their position. So why would they up their performance? So you need to create a competitiveness, healthy competition within the team to keep them on their toes. Like it happened with Soboslai. As soon as Florian Wirtz came in, Soboslai upped his game to another level. He has taken his game to a different level, and he has been performing like 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 each and every game. So that's what you should do with the team. And also you have to keep the fire within the fringe players like Chiesa, Endo, Gomez. He has not been doing that. He has not been giving them any opportunities whatsoever. So he has completely and utterly failed in man management. Now let's complete the interview first, and after that I'll tell you about the Salah situation. How I see it now is like you throw Mo under the bus because he is the problem in the team now. But I don't think I am the problem. I have done so much for this club. So Mo says that he is not the problem, and I agree with him. He is not the problem. He's not the solution either, but he's definitely not the problem. This team has a lot of problem, and the biggest of them starts with the letter A. You know what I'm talking about. So let's move on. The respect I want to get, I don't have to go every day fighting for my position because I earned it. I am not bigger than anyone, but I earned my position. It's football. It is what it is. He is right. He has earned his stature. He has earned his position at Liverpool. And he's not bigger than Liverpool. No player is bigger than Liverpool, but no manager is bigger either. And if it was Mo Salah against Arne Slot, I will say that Mo Salah is above Arne Slot at Liverpool. In foot, so the interviewer goes on to ask, could it be your last game for Liverpool? Mo Salah says, in football you never know. I don't accept this situation. I have done so much for this club. With respect, I love everyone. I love Erling Haaland. I will talk about him. I am the current top goal scorer in the Premier League. He is not yet. He is going to win it hopefully, and that is fine for him. I love him, and he knows that. That bit was a bit random, to be honest, to put Erling Haaland like that in. I am top goal scorer, best player, winning the league in such a style, but I am the one who has to defend himself in front of the media and the fans. Okay, so that is where he's coming from. So he's comparing himself with other players because he feels that he has been wrongfully portrayed by the media, that he does not get the plaudits that he deserves. And he is right. He comes from a country that does not usually produce top footballers at the world stage. He comes from a community, from a religion that is not typically producing the majority of the best footballers, I would put it like that, because there have been a lot of footballers from his religion, from his community, that have been top. So he feels that way, that he has been wrongfully portrayed in the media and does not get the praise that he deserves. So the interviewer then goes on to ask him, does this hurt you more? Salah says, absolutely. What I have done for the club, it really hurts. You can imagine, really, after going from home to the club and you don't know if you are starting. I know the club too well. I have been here many years. Tomorrow, Jamie Carragher is going to go for me again and again, and that's fine. So he talks about Jamie Carragher. Carragher, man, he has been harsh on him. He accused him that he only speaks to the media when it suits him, when he wants something from the club, like a contract or a starting position. And why shouldn't he? Why shouldn't he? I agree that he should be speaking to the media at other times as well, but why shouldn't he speak when he wants something? Last year, he went for that contract. He went all the way for that contract. He performed at the top of his game. If you're saying that his legs are gone, his legs have been gone for the past 3 years. But he reinvented himself last year, and the players around him supported him. Now, I don't agree that we have to build a system around Salah because he is aging. We have to build a system around Wirtz, but that is not happening either because Arne Slot is seemingly building a system around Cody Gakpo. He has spent 500 million in the transfer market, and he is building a system around Cody Gakpo, and that is laughable to say the least. Then he's asked, is Saudi still on the table? Salah says, I don't want to answer the question because the club is going to take me to a different direction. Mm, I didn't quite get that. Then he goes on to ask, situation impossible now to solve. I cannot, Salah says, I cannot say it is impossible, but from what I feel, I have done so much for the club. I love the fans and the club so much, but I don't know what is going to happen next. So it's clearly he's saying that it is not unsalvageable, but it looks like it is. Interviewer says, doubly frustrating that you didn't even come on. Okay, now he's just inciting him. Slot is in love with Gakpo. You should see my story on Instagram, the second one. A bit controversial, but yeah. Listen, about Cody Gakpo, the problem with Cody Gakpo is that it is not really his fault, to be honest. He just does not have the skill set. It's on the manager. The manager has to learn that Cody Gakpo cannot be the plan A for us on the left wing. Last year it worked quite well because we had Luis Diaz playing as the plan A, and Gakpo would come in and keep Luis Diaz on his toes, just the right amount. But right now he has no competition whatsoever. I mean, actually there is. We have backup in Rio and Gumoha and Federico Chiesa, but Arne Slot, he just doesn't play them. So Cody Gakpo is just resting, and he has no threat to his position whatsoever in his mind. So this interviewer is also a bit like he's a bit chutia that he is inciting Mo Salah to answer that. So he's asking him whether it is more frustrating that he did not even come on. Salah then says, can you answer that? I have been at this club scoring more than anyone in this generation since I came to the Premier League. He keeps on repeating that shit. I don't think anyone has scored more goals and made more assists than me in the whole Premier League. If I am somewhere else, everybody would go to the media and defend the players. I am the only one in this situation. Can I give an example? It's silly, but I'm sorry. I remember a while ago, Harry Kane was not scoring for 10 games. Everyone in the media was like, oh, Harry will score for sure. When it comes to Mo, everyone is like, he needs to be on the bench. I'm sorry, Harry. That's what Mo Salah said. He did not need to do that. He did not need to compare himself with the others. But I understand what he's saying again. He feels persecuted in his mind. That not persecuted per se, but he feels that he does not get praised as much as the others, like the English players would get, like the Europeans or the South Americans would get. So the interviewer says, when you say about someone wanting you out, who? Salah says, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. Interviewer asks him specifically whether it is the sporting director. Then Mo Salah says, no, don't put the words in my mouth. From the situation I see, that's it. Interviewer asks, had anyone sort of communicated and explained the situation to you? Have you actually asked for that? Salah says, I did, but I don't see an explanation. Like I knew yesterday that I was not going to play, and that's it. So take it and swallow it and go home. Harsh. There should be better communication. Then the interviewer says, were you told personally you weren't going to play by Arne? Mo Salah says, yeah, he told me yesterday and had a meeting with him. Okay, so there was some communication. Did you let your feelings be known then? Were you disappointed? Salah says, he knows my feelings. He knows my feeling. Then the interviewer asks him whether Salah is regretting signing that contract. Salah says, imagine how bad that is. I have to answer it. Yeah, it is a sad situation if this is the question that is being asked to a club legend. A club legend who is perhaps one of our top 3 footballers ever in the history, not just the present time. That hurts, even the question hurts. This club, signing for this club, I will never regret it. So that is something that I respect Salah for. I thought I'm going to renew here and end my career here, but this is not according to the plan. So I'm not regretting signing for the club for sure. Then he's asked, you're one of the greatest players in Liverpool's history. Can you believe it might end like this? Salah says, somehow it will end, but the thing in my head is like, why it should end this way? He's right. Why should it? Because I am too fit. Just 5 months ago, I was just winning every individual award. So why should it go this direction? I'm sorry everybody in a team is not in form yet. I am the one who has to defend himself now. Then he's asked, now is the next step for you to speak to Arne again? Salah says, no, I don't think so. We spoke a lot. Then he is asked point blank, has the relationship broken down? Salah says, quote, yeah, there's no relationship between us. It was very good relationship and now all of a sudden there is no relationship. Then is asked, something changed behind the scenes? You guys know better than me. I don't know. Okay, so every time that the interviewer asks, I'm going to just raise the tissue so that you know that I'm saying what the interviewer is saying. So, something changed behind the scenes. You guys know better than me. I don't know. Do you feel let down from the teammates as well? No, no, no. These guys, they know how much I love them. They know how much I support them, even inside before the game, after the game. I'm an experienced player. I've been in their position. I always support them. I always give them experience. But no, no. The players, they are not connected to the situation at all. Even they support me so much, so there's just as much love between us as players and respect. So that's it. That's the end of the interview. And now, about my thoughts on this. I feel that Arne Slot is a terrible man manager. Everyone would agree in the Liverpool fan base that Mo Salah had to be benched. But that was maybe for one game or two games. You can't bench a star player like that without communication for 3 games. And Salah is probably our biggest star, and you have to communicate better. If he's benched, then you need to tell him that you are managing his game time and everything. You have to be diplomatic about it. You need to keep his mind and his emotions in your explanation, and you have to tell him that he is protecting him for the AFCON or some make up some shit like that. But don't don't give him no explanation at all about it. And Salah is someone who has a strong mentality and who likes to fight for his place, who will fight for his place. He has done it in the past. He has come back from a slump and he might come back again, or he might not. But you can't bench him for 3 games straight without communication. There has to be better communication from Arne Slot. And if this was Jurgen Klopp doing that, I would have sided with Jurgen Klopp because he knows it much better. Whereas Arne Slot, he has been terrible at man management. We saw it with Federico Chiesa, we saw it with Jarell Konsa, and actually the Cody Gakpo is also a reverse example of his terrible man management, to be honest. So yeah, I'm tired even watching and reading this interview. So I don't know how you are going to feel about it. I'll just say that if it comes down to Slot versus Salah, and I am firmly team Mo Salah, and I want Arne Slot gone from this club because he has he has probably he has definitely not probably he has definitely lost the plot here. Thanks guys, thanks for joining it.